Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of November 12th, 2020. The current challenge is Teen Titans Raven, which is a 1-week repeat. The required characters for that are Killer Frost, Scorpion, and Hawk Girl, who are all challenge golds.
I don't think it ever gets worse than that.
Yeah.
No requirements can be worse than requiring all 3 challenge gold characters.
Yeah, because there's nobody who's online multiplayer exclusive, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so this is the hardest to get. To get this challenge character, you need to have 3 other challenges behind, like, under your belt already, and 3 specific ones too, which sucks.
Yeah.
Her passive is Demonic Embrace, which is special attacks have a chance to drain 25% health and power, and Raven receives all health and power that has been drained. She's got 1400 attack and 1200 health. She was last available in May of 2020.
So, like the recent run we've had, they've got really good high stats, right? And so 2600 again, but 1400 of that, more than half of it, is in her attack. Her passive with 25% draining health and power is better than other percentages of, say, reducing health, because it's a percentage of max health, not current health. And when I say that, I'm thinking of Cassandra Cain Batgirl, whose passive of doing 25% damage on tagging is 25% of current health, so you can never actually get it down very quickly.
Yeah, and it instantly gets worse as soon as a fight started.
Yeah. And so when we last talked about her in a recap back in May, she had become our second favorite Raven. 2nd out of 4. She'd moved up 1 slot from our second least favorite Raven.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a link in the description of a playlist with Teen Titans Raven, because she's a lot of fun to play. And I think one of the things that's not so obvious, because, again, not news, that people look at stats and passive and then decide whether they like a character based on just those 2 things. And in the case of Teen Titans Raven, it's not so obvious the parts of her that make her especially good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple things. One is that her special 2, it has multiple hits that will track across more than one opponent. Unlike some other of the really recent characters, I'm thinking of the Metals, where you can only knock them out on the last hit. She can knock them out on any of the hits. So she can knock out 1, still have hits left over for the next one. And the direct damage is sometimes enough to knock out 2 opponents at full health. Huge amount of damage. But even if it only gives you a love tap to the second opponent, her passive kicks in after completing the special 2. So it can steal power and also be enough to knock out the second person too.
Yeah, that extra damage.
And the other not so obvious thing is that her special 2 hit is ranged, meaning that she doesn't need to be close. This was the one problem I always had with Bounty Hunter Lobo, where when I wanted to make him our specialist, because he's got that passive that's really good for his special 2, because the first hit of his special 2 is not ranged, it has to be close, a lot of times he would whiff. So Master's Death Card, when you use that for your second bar of power, it shoves them away a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, because she, no matter how far she shoves them back, she will totally connect with every hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think she's great. She's pretty good.
Yeah.
Only reason she's not the best is I think Rebirth Raven stealing power is still a lot of fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
And hard to counter.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week's multiplayer reward is, as expected, the Sengoku helmet, which becomes the Batman Ninja helmet, which, when it is max upgraded, has the following abilities. 40% max health increase. For every 5% of available power, damage received is reduced by 2.3%. A Batman-specific ability, which is for every 10% of available power, crit chance is increased by 3%, and then the evolved ability, which is 50% chance to resist power drain. Last available in April of 2020, we are still following the multiplayer reward cycle as expected, so the next week's reward should be Astro Harness.
That'll be 52 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm. 1-year anniversary.
Yeah. So it's a pretty good tank defensive gear, and generally we don't lean on defensive gears too heavily, but we did use it originally on our loadout of New 52 Superman in one of our original Justice League teams that we haven't played for a while. So with New 52 Wonder Woman giving power as her special specialist, his passive where he increases his damage when he generates enough power fits perfectly with New 52 Wonder Woman giving him power. So then he could use all his gear slots to be defensive, make him almost invulnerable, and just wait for his passive to give him strength, I guess. And the main problem with this gear, I think, and why it's no longer a part of our Justice League team, like we've been playing around with that, right? But to get the best benefit out of two of the abilities, reduced damage taken and crit chance increased if you're playing Batman, you can't use your power, right? At full power, what do you get? You get like 46% reduced damage. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you have 3 bars of power and you have it on Batman, he'd be reduced to almost no damage taken. But the hard part is holding on to your power, right? The great thing about this gear is that all the abilities are in line with each other, right? And the last evolved ability protects the power that you're hoarding, if that's what you're doing. And part of me thinks that maybe the best use case would be for Red Lantern Hal Jordan, where he almost always has 3 bars of power, and he's only vulnerable right after doing a special. And, since he uses health to do specials, even though he tracks power, right? He still has power on the bars.
Yeah.
He's probably the one guy you would be hoarding his power, especially if his health got a little bit lower. So he'd be the most interesting. But, the problem with that is he's still vulnerable to damage over time. So not the perfect tank. I guess what I'm saying is it's a good gear, a little bit flawed, but it makes for interesting fights.
Yeah. It changes the way you play, which is something that we always like to see with gear. Yeah, even if it's not exactly our main play style. And that's part of the problem is the gear that we like the most because it's most interesting is the stuff that you can't actually do a lot to using specials or dealing a ton of damage really fast. Right. You can't do a lot to that basic gameplay loop. So a lot of the stuff that lets you do something different is going to be stuff that doesn't fit into our core play style.
Right. Well, this week there's only one new pack in the store.
Yeah, the Blackest Night Pack 2 for $52.99 Canadian as always, which comes with Blackest Night, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, and Batman. So it doesn't come with Doomsday, and it doesn't come with the Flash, which is the best Blackest Night character. But it's for a pre-made team. It's not a good deal, and it sucks that this used to be the kind of pack that you would probably be able to get with power credits. Not this one specifically, I don't think, but
it might have been. I know there was a Blackest Night. There was a Halloween pack.
Yeah,
that was all Blackest Night characters, I think.
But when this used to be the kind of thing that you could just get for saving up power credits, it does suck to have to pay a significant amount of money for it.
I think those days are long gone, though.
Yeah,
where we're gonna have a chance at those.
In our Survivor, we have the Suicide Squad companion gear set until the 18th of November, 2020.
Right. So Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 is still broken. Last week's breakthrough was as expected, Catwoman, Deathstroke, and Raven. And based on schedule, this weekend is probably going to be Cyborg, Batgirl, and Black Adam. Link in the description to a Reddit thread started by Devlin16 with the entire breakthrough cycle listed, which has been fine ever since they updated to add the characters that were missing.
Moving on to the current glitches, just remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We're Android only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android, but we will be able to talk about iOS glitches that other people have let us know about. So starting off with the significant not working glitches, stuff that you might be looking for that you can't do right now. There is nothing for power credits that we are willing to endorse. Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and CNA&T, we talk at length about why we're not endorsing the one that's out there, but for the purposes of what we're talking about here, just know that there's a risk associated that we are not willing to undertake ourselves or encourage anybody else to take, but you can find it somewhere on the internet if you're looking for it.
Right. So the other glitches that used to work but don't anymore, the glitch for getting past multiplayer season rewards not working, glitch for early multiplayer season rewards in a way that you can actually exploit and not just have happen haphazardly and accidentally, also not working. And there's no glitch to get through Phantom Zone quickly, but we got videos if you want to look through our library of videos that talk a lot about strategy about how to get through it real fast. And we demonstrate it whenever there's a Phantom Zone week in our Q&A by getting through Phantom Zone really fast and showing you a bunch of the final crystals that we get.
For sure. Moving on to the working glitches, the glitch to let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly was still working.
Up until yesterday, when Phantom
Yeah,
Zone was
which
still
isn't
open.
to say that it's patched now. It's to say that you don't have Phantom Zone to reset, and the challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is also still working, and that one is testable right now and confirmed on the current Teen Titans Raven challenge. We mentioned them together because if you're doing one, you are resetting your progress on both, so this is just a reminder to make sure that every time you're about to reset, think, do I want to reset both things, or am I just trying to reset one, so that you don't accidentally lose a bunch of progress unnecessarily.
So a couple of related notes that we can't test. One is we're on Android 9, but people on Android 10 have been complaining they have to re-download 1 gig of data when they do this. So in the description from viewer Tanmay Kakde is cut and pasted their comment about which files to pick to move onto a different part of your phone, so that when you finish doing the reset, you can just bring it back instead of having to re-download that. And also from Jonathan Yang on how to reset the challenge on iOS. It's gotten good feedback. It sounds like it's working for a lot of people.
Yeah, and more importantly than the good feedback, it's gotten no bad feedback.
That's true.
The breakthrough glitch to let you play it repeatedly is still working. And the airplane mode / refund glitch is still working, which is good for both packs with random drops, also known as loot boxes, and last laugh tickets. It does not work in the Phantom Zone when it's around for us, because that requires an online connection. Some people have reported that for iOS it works, and some people have said it works for Android, but we haven't been able to confirm for anybody except for us that it's not working.
Because we're the ones that matter.
Yeah, and we haven't been able to confirm for anybody else that it is working with any sort of like video proof or anything. So reports will vary, but we can't say anything about that for sure.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Always, always, always remember to bring your countdown clock back to normal when you're done, because that might screw up some other stuff that people have been noticing when challenges don't show up when they're supposed to.
And last but not least, in between not working and working glitches, we have the promotion glitch, where you can promote characters that are still locked. It hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14, so it's not testable and it's not usable, but it has never been... the conditions have never been present at the same time that the glitch has failed. We've either not been able to do it or it's worked.
And finally, so that's it for this week, but finally we always like to thank our patrons on Patreon who've been supporting us through a lot, and we really appreciate it. And that's a big thank you to Consul Peasant and Edwoon, who are supporting us at top tier last word, Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo, who are supporting us on the credit level. And I do want to point out that I've been remiss, and because our notes have been screwed up, we've been neglecting to thank Eddydoo properly. It's in the credits that you can see on the screen. But we have not been saying his name, once a week. We haven't been saying it twice a week. We've been only saying it once a week. So we apologize profusely.
Formally.
Yes. And then we've also got Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer 2-for-1, Pavu RS, and Gavin Mallott at the gratitude level.
There we go. Thank you so much for all of your support. And thanks so much to all of you. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.